Hello and welcome to today's presentation on the participation of students with disabilities on the 2016-17 Future Leaders Exchange and Youth Exchange and Study programs. My name is Stephanie Gray and I'm a program manager at Mobility International USA, or MIUSA, a disability-led and cross-disability organization based in Eugene, Oregon. MIUSA has been conducting arrival orientations for Flex and Yes students with disabilities and providing support services to placement organizations for many years with the support of the U.S. Department of State and now as a subcontractor to American councils. We've been working with Flex students with disabilities since 1999 and with Yes students with disabilities since 2006. Today I'd like to introduce this year's Flex and Yes students with disabilities and share some of the activities we did with the students during their August arrival orientation conducted by MIUSA in Eugene, Oregon. For viewers who work with these students on a local level, today's presentation may give you some ideas for inclusive and disability-focused activities that you may be able to plan in your students' host communities. This year, MIUSA welcomed 12 academic year Yes students from 12 different countries to Oregon, including the first student with a disability to participate in the Yes program from Bulgaria. 2 more students with disabilities will arrive from Malaysia in January to participate in the Yes Spring Semester program. All total, this year's Yes program includes 2 deaf students, 9 blind or low vision students, 2 students who are amputees, and 1 who is short-statured. We also welcomed 14 Flex students with disabilities from 10 countries to Oregon in August, including students from 3 of the new Flex countries, Romania, Estonia, and Latvia. This year's Flex program includes 10 students with mobility disabilities and 4 blind or low vision students. All 26 of these students participated in an intensive arrival orientation conducted by MIUSA in Eugene, Oregon, August 12th through the 17th. Today I'll be sharing a few photos and video clips from the MIUSA workshop. As you know, all Flex and Yes students receive a series of orientations to U.S. culture, from U.S. high school expectations to living with a host family, communication, money management, and more. MIUSA's orientation serves as a final layer for students with disabilities, giving them a sense of what it's like to be a person with a disability in the United States by helping them consider how U.S. disability culture and laws may be different from the disability culture and laws of their country. Our goal is to give students a quick but comprehensive look into the opportunities that might be available to them in their U.S. host communities. We're also striving to give them a variety of inclusive and empowering experiences, and that's what you'll see in a few of the following photos. One of the core activities of our program is a visit to a typical U.S. public high school. Many students with disabilities attend specialized schools in their home countries, and although some will also attend a specialized school in the United States, many students have an opportunity to be mainstreamed during their Flex or Yes year or semester. Regardless of their placement, we provide all students with a very basic introduction to how students with disabilities receive an education in the United States and the law behind inclusive education, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. This year we were welcomed to a public high school that includes students with and without disabilities. Student ambassadors provided a tour of the school and talked about class schedules, grades, lockers, athletics, clubs, and more. After the tour, 4 members of our community, each of whom has a disability, joined our students in small breakout groups to share their experiences attending U.S. public high schools as students with disabilities, as well as tips on self-advocacy and the process of requesting accommodations. This information tends to be new to our students and is meant to increase their awareness of all of the resources and options available to them in the United States. The high school visit also helps our students start thinking about how they are going to manage various aspects of the U.S. high school experience, be it getting from class to class in just 4 to 5 minutes, using a locker, handling a cafeteria tray, and similar tasks. Another key activity and a highlight of our program is a day at a fully accessible outdoor challenge course facilitated by the City of Eugene. At MIUSA, we take many of our inbound program participants to the challenge course, as it demonstrates a variety of adaptations for accessibility and prompts students to examine their own preconceptions about the abilities of individuals with different types of disabilities. This year, we planned the day on the course so that all students would have an opportunity to participate in a high element called the Falcon's Flight. And I want to show you a short clip of one of our YES students, Fatima, who is blind, doing this activity. For this element, students are seated in a harness and pulled high into the air. When they are ready, they unhook one of the ropes used to pull them up and swing freely between the trees. We also do a series of low elements on the course. This year, for one of those activities, students had to work together to pass a ball using a set of tubes and ramps from one student to another and into a bucket at the end without touching the ball at any time. This is an interactive and fun activity that is nonetheless challenging, as students must learn to communicate with their blind and deaf peers. I'd like to share a short clip of some of our students experiencing success with this activity. Another of our core activities is a half day of community service. Because many young people with disabilities are recipients of help and charity in their home countries, as opposed to volunteers for others, our goal at MIUSA is to give all of our students an actual experience of participating in an inclusive and accessible community service activity that will prompt them to think about which volunteer activities they might like to explore in their host communities. This year, students completed 3 hours of community service at the City of Eugene's Grassroots Garden, which grows fruit and vegetables for Food for Lane County, a local nonprofit food distribution organization. For those of you working on a local level with students, if we can be of assistance in suggesting community service options for your students with disabilities, please let us know. Not only is this a key component of the Flex and Yes programs, it can be really transformative for your students with disabilities as well. Finally, one of the last of our core activities that I want to share with you is our Adaptive Sports and Recreation Day. This year, students had an opportunity to try a variety of adaptive bicycles, including hand cycles and tandem bicycles, with instruction from adaptive recreation specialists. At the Eugene Family YMCA, students participated in a variety of inclusive activities facilitated by recreation specialists with and without disabilities, including seated aerobics and exercise using accessible fitness equipment in the YMCA's UCAN gym. New this year, students were joined by 4 members of the USA Women's Goalball team, who led a demonstration of this exciting sport for students in the YMCA's gym. Several of the blind students were already familiar with goalball, but it was a new and fun experience for students with other types of disabilities and exposed them to one of many ways that people who are blind or low vision participate in competitive sports. For many of your students, this was their first experience of full inclusion in sports activities and exposed them to the numerous recreational activities that may be possible for them in their host communities. Last but not least, at the conclusion of MIUSA's arrival orientation, students depart for host communities all across the United States. The 25 students with disabilities currently on program are living with host families and attending high school in 15 different states, from Maine to Washington to Hawaii. Thank you for viewing today's presentation on the participation of students with disabilities in the 2016-17 Flex and Yes programs and highlights of MIUSA's August arrival orientation. If there is anything MIUSA can do to support your involvement in these youth programs, please don't hesitate to contact me directly at 541-343-1284 or by email at sgray@miusa.org. I also encourage you to visit our website, www.miusa.org, and to follow us on social media. Thank you again for joining us today.